The kick from Prater is downed by McCourty. Give to Levins. Levins with a 6-yard run, Page on the tackle. Levins with the handoff. Levins with a 3-yard run, Jackson on the tackle. 3rd and 1 at the 44. Egeson at the line. Egeson gives to Levins. Levins on the sweep, no gain, Lambert on the tackle. Jennings will punt it away. "54-yard punt by Jennings, return of 2 by Howard. Smith with the handoff. Smith with a 3-yard run, Price with the tackle. 2nd and 7 from the 7. Dawson with a 7-step drop. Long in. Incomplete. Dawson to Galloway, incomplete. 3rd and 7. Carter is doubled at the line. Doubling Galloway at the line. Glenn faces a double at the line. Kels faces a double at the line. Dawson fades back to pass. Screen to Smith. Complete. Dawson passes to Smith, 17-yard gain, Bullock on the tackle, 1st down. Dawson fades deep. Screen to Smith. Complete. Dawson to Smith, 5-yard gain, Burgee on the stop. 2nd and 5 at the 29. Hand off to Smith. 2-yard run by Smith, Bullock on the tackle. 3rd and 3 from the 31. Dawson barks out the signals. He fades back to pass. Dawson throws short, incomplete. Dawson throws incomplete to Carter, Lynch with the coverage. Zastudile to punt. "39-yard punt by Zastudile, return of 14 by Bird. Egeson gives to Harmon. Harmon lost 1 on the play, Lambert with the tackle. Egeson drops back to pass. Long fly. He makes the grab. Egeson completes the pass to Monk, gain of 24, Woodson on the tackle, 1st down. Egeson gives to Levins. Levins on the carry, no gain, Jackson on the tackle. 2nd and 10 from the 33. I formation. Egeson with a quick drop. Back shoulder throw to Moore. He's got it. Egeson completes the pass to Moore, gain of 8, LeBeau on the tackle. 3rd and 2 from the 25. Levins with the handoff. Levins on the carry, gain of 2, Jackson on the tackle. 41-yard try for Bias Uxie. This will give them the lead. Block. The kick by Bias Uxie is blocked by Dawson at the line. Dawson hands to Smith. 4-yard run by Smith, Costa on the tackle. Byers on the draw. Byers with the carry, gain of 9, Green with the tackle, 1st down. I formation. Dawson calling signals. Fades back to pass. Dawson dumps it to Byers, complete. Dawson completes the pass to Byers, gain of 3, Myers on the tackle. 2nd and 7. Dawson sets up in the pocket. Screen to Byers, Incomplete. Dawson passes to Byers, incomplete, Myers with the coverage. 3rd and 7 from the 49. Takes a 5-step drop. Medium crossing pattern to Kels. Complete. Dawson completes the pass to Kels, gain of 21, Bullock on the stop, 1st down. The hand off to Smith. Smith gains 3 on the sweep, Burgee on the tackle. Dawson barks out the signals. The hand off to Smith. Smith with a 5-yard run, Bullock on the tackle. 3rd and 2 from the 22. Dawson barks out the signals. Dawson hands to Smith. Smith on the carry, no gain, Jones with the tackle. 40-yard attempt for Prater. This will give them the lead. The snap from Kels. Prater missed the 40-yard attempt. Give to Harmon. 8-yard gain by Harmon, Lambert on the stop. Levens with the handoff. Levens on the carry, 8-yard gain, Cole on the tackle, 1st down. End of the 1st quarter, Ohio 0, New York 0. 1st and 10 from the 46. Ejeson gives to Harmon. Harmon on the carry, 3-yard gain, Jackson on the tackle. Hand off to Harmon. Harmon on the carry, gain of 2, Douglas on the tackle. 3rd and 5 from the 49. Ejeson with a quick drop. Short sideline pass to Moore. Complete. Ejeson to Moore, gain of 6, Brown on the stop, 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 43. Ejeson drops back to pass. Screen to Harmon. Complete. Ejeson to Harmon, gain of 6, Jackson on the tackle. Ejeson at the line. Ejeson gives to Levens. 1-yard run by Levens, Douglas with the tackle. 3rd and 3 at the 36. Ejeson fades back to pass. Screen to Levens. Complete. Ejeson completes the pass to Levens, gain of 8, Jackson with the tackle, 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 28. Ejeson barks out the signals. Current drive, 8 plays, 42 yards. 5:08 off the clock. Ejeson fades back to pass. Screen to Harmon. Incomplete. Ejeson throws incomplete to Harmon, Browner on the coverage. 2nd and 10 at the 28. Current drive, 9 plays, 42 yards. 5:16 off the clock. Ejeson drops back to pass. Screen to Levens. Incomplete. Ejeson throws incomplete to Levens, Jackson with the coverage. 3rd and 10. Ejeson in the shotgun. Ejeson sets up in the pocket. Ejeson checks down to Levens. Complete. Ejeson completes the pass to Levens, no gain, Jackson with the tackle. 46-yard attempt for Bias Uxie. Jaworski to hold. This will give them the lead. Bias Uxie missed from 46. Dawson glides back. Long into Carter. Incomplete. Dawson throws incomplete to Carter.
Intentional grounding. Offense. Number 16, 10-yard penalty. Loss of down.
Still scoreless. Shotgun formation. Dawson drops back to pass. Medium cross to Glenn. Incomplete. Dawson throws incomplete to Glenn. Third and 20 at the 26. Dawson sets up in the pocket. Medium cross. Complete. Dawson completes the pass to Galloway, gain of 11, Bird on the tackle. Zastudile to punt. A 53-yard punt by Zastudile, fair catch by Bird. First and 10 from the 10. From the Levens with the handoff. 9-yard run by Levens, Dollar on the tackle. Egeson barks out the signals. He fades back to pass. Medium slant to Gronkowski. Complete. Egeson passes to Gronkowski, gain of 20, both on the tackle, first down. Still scoreless. First and 10 from the 39. All eyes on Levens. Egeson fades back to pass. Egeson throws underneath, complete. Egeson passes to Levens, 4-yard gain, Jackson on the stop. Second and 6 from the 43. Give to Levens. Has room to run. Levens on the carry, gain of 19, Brownell on the tackle, first down. First and 10 from the 38. I formation. Egeson fades back to pass. Screen to Levens. He dropped it. Egeson to Levens, incomplete, Lambert on the coverage. No score. Egeson pitches left to Levens. Levens gains 4 on the pitch, Harrison with the tackle. Third and 6 from the 34. Egeson hollers out the signals. Egeson fades back to pass. Medium fly to Monk. He dropped it. Egeson throws incomplete to Monk, Woodson on the coverage. 52-yard try for Bias Uxie. This will give them the lead. Long attempt. The snap from Rafferty. Bias Uxie missed the 52-yard attempt. First and 10. Dawson drops back to pass. Dawson dumps it to Byers, complete. Dawson passes to Byers, gain of 5, Myers with the tackle. Second and 5 from the 47. Dawson drops back to pass. False. Dawson on the carry, gain of 2, Burgee on the tackle. Third and 3. Dawson drops back to pass. Dawson throws to Smith, complete. Dawson completes the pass to Smith, gain of 4, Bullock on the tackle, first down. First and 10. Ohio in a hurry up. Smith takes the handoff. Smith on the carry, no gain, McCourty with the tackle. Second and 10 from the 47. Ohio in a hurry up. Give to Smith. Smith on the carry, gain of 10, Green on the tackle, first down. Dawson going through the signals now. Dawson gives to Smith. 9-yard gain by Smith, Burgee on the tackle. Second and 1. Hustling to the line. Give to Smith. Smith on the sweep, gain of 9, Bird on the tackle, first down. 2-minute warning. Dawson sets up in the pocket. Dawson will run. Dawson the ball carrier, gain of 10, McCourty on the tackle, first down. Hustling to the line. It's Galloway on the end around. Galloway with the carry, no gain, Burgee on the stop. Hurry up offense. Dawson fades back to pass. Medium cross to Kals. He makes the catch. Dawson completes the pass to Kals, touchdown Ohio. Prater and will try the point after. The kick by Prater is good, Ohio 7, New York 0. The kick from Prater. The kick from Prater is returned 10 yards by McCourty, Harrison with the tackle. New York trailing by 7. First and 10 from the 14. 1:11 in the second. Echeson sets up in the pocket. Medium crossing pass. Incomplete. Echeson to Gronkowski, incomplete, Vogt on the coverage. Second and 10 from the 14. Echeson calling the signals. Drops back to pass. Medium slant. Incomplete. Echeson throws incomplete to Gronkowski, Vogt on the coverage. Third and 10. Shotgun formation. Echeson calling signals. Drops back to pass. Echeson dumps it to Levens. He dropped it. Echeson throws incomplete to Levens, Jackson on the coverage. Jennings to punt. "86-yard punt by Jennings, touchback." Hand off to Smith. With the lane. Smith with a gain of 17 on the play, Burgee on the tackle, first down. First and 10 at the 37. Dawson sets up in the pocket. Long out to Galloway. He dropped it. Dawson passes to Galloway, incomplete, Bird on the coverage. Byers takes the handoff. Byers gains 8 on the sweep, Bullock with the tackle. Third and 2 at the 45. Dawson in the shotgun. Dawson drops back to pass. Screen to Smith. Complete. Dawson passes to Smith, gain of 5, Bullock with the tackle, first down. Dawson drops back to pass. Screen to Byers. Incomplete. Dawson to Byers, incomplete, Myers on the coverage. Ohio leads by 7. Second and 10 from the 50. 0:21 to go in the second. Dawson at the line. Drops back to pass. Screen. He dropped it. Dawson to Byers, incomplete, Myers on the coverage. Third and 10 from the 50. Dawson barks out the signals. He fades back to pass. Dawson throws deep downfield to Carter. Incomplete. Dawson to Carter, incomplete. Zastudile will kick it away. Bird standing inside his own 10. 36-yard punt by Zastudile, out of bounds. Here's the kick from Bias Uxie. The kick from Bias Uxie is returned 27 yards by Howard, Bullock with the tackle. Dawson drops back to pass. Medium slant. Complete. Dawson to Galloway, 19-yard gain, Bird on the stop, first down. Dawson fades back to pass. Dawson in the seam to Kals. Incomplete. Dawson throws incomplete to Kals. Dawson with a 7-step drop. Screen to Smith. He makes the grab. Dawson completes the pass to Smith. Loss of 3, Bullock with the tackle. Penalty flag.
False start. Offense. Number 80, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, third down.
Third and 18 at the 45. Dawson drops back to pass. Long out. Incomplete. Dawson throws incomplete to Carter, Lynch with the coverage. Zastudile to punt. Bird waiting inside his own 10. "44-yard punt by Zastudile, return of 11 by Bird. New York breaks the huddle. From the Echeson calling signals. Levens with the handoff. 13-yard run by Levens, Browner on the tackle, first down. The handoff to Harmon. Harmon with a 4-yard run, Vogt on the stop. Echeson gives to Levens. Levens with a gain of 5 on the play, Lambert with the tackle. New York breaks the huddle. 3rd and 1 at the 44. Hand off to Levens. Levens with a 4-yard run, Jackson on the tackle, first down. Echeson gives to Harmon. Harmon the ball carrier, gain of 2, Jackson on the tackle. New York trailing by 7. Echeson pitches left to Harmon. Harmon on the carry, gain of 2, flag on the field.
Holding. Offense. Number 60, 10-yard penalty.
Second and 18 at the 40. Echeson in the shotgun. Echeson calling signals. Sets to throw. Medium crossing pass to Gronkowski, complete. Echeson to Gronkowski, gain of 16, Vogt on the tackle. New York down by 7. 3rd and 2 at the 44. Echeson back to pass. Short cross to Moore. Incomplete. Echeson to Moore, incomplete, LeBeau on the coverage. Jennings from punt formation. Howard waiting inside his own 10. "44-yard punt by Jennings, touchback. Dawson fades back to pass. Medium fly to Kals, he's got it. Dawson completes the pass to Kals, gain of 15, McCourty with the tackle, first down. 1st and 10 at the 35. Dawson takes a deep drop. Medium sideline pass. Incomplete. Dawson passes to Galloway, incomplete, Bird on the coverage. 2nd and 10 from the 35. Dawson drops back to pass. Dawson checks down to Smith, complete. Dawson passes to Smith, gain of 5, Bullock on the tackle. 3rd and 5 from the 40. From the Dawson fades back to pass. Screen to Smith. Complete. Dawson completes the pass to Smith, gain of 6, Waymer on the tackle, first down. Dawson fades back to pass. Dawson dumps it to Smith. Complete. Dawson completes the pass to Smith. 7-yard gain, Bullock on the tackle. 2nd and 3 from the 47. Dawson pitches right to Smith. Smith on the pitch, no gain, Bullock on the tackle. 3rd and 3 at the 47. Dawson fades back to pass. Screen to Byers. Complete. Dawson passes to Byers, 15-yard gain, McCourty on the tackle, 1st down. Dawson sets up in the pocket. Dawson throws to Byers, complete. Dawson to Byers, gain of 11, Myers on the tackle, 1st down. Ohio breaks the huddle. The handoff to Smith. Smith on the carry, no gain, Berge on the tackle. Dawson drops back to pass. He dumps it to Carter. Complete. Dawson completes the pass to Carter, gain of 6, Lynch on the tackle. 3rd and 4 from the 15. Current drive, 10 plays, 65 yards. 6:17 off the clock. Dawson fades back to pass. Short slant to Kels. Complete. Dawson passes to Kels, gain of 6, McCourty on the stop, 1st down. Ohio ahead by 7. Dawson can't handle the snap. Fumble. Dawson lost one on the play, fumble recovered by Kels, New York ball. New York breaks the huddle. 1st and 10 at the 10. Levens with the handoff. Levens lost one on the play, Golick on the tackle. Trips right. Hand off to Levens. Levens running room. Levens with a gain of 19 on the play, both with the tackle, 1st down. End of the 3rd quarter, Ohio 7, New York 0. New Yorkers trailing by 7. Egeson takes a deep drop. He throws underneath to Monk, complete. Egeson completes the pass to Monk, gain of 3, Woodson on the tackle. New York breaks the huddle. 2nd and 7 from the 31. Egeson sets up in the pocket. Medium into Gronkowski. Complete. Egeson passes to Gronkowski, 34-yard gain, both on the tackle, 1st down. New York breaks the huddle. Egeson pitches right to Harmon. Harmon gains 5 on the pitch, Jackson with the tackle. 2nd and 5 at the 30. Levens with the transfer. 8-yard gain by Levens, Cole on the tackle, 1st down. Hand off to Levens. Levens with a gain of 4 on the play, Boak on the tackle. 2nd and 6 from the 18. Egeson gives to Levens. 5-yard run by Levens, flag on the field.
Offsides. Defense. Number 53, 5-yard penalty.
Egeson sets to throw. He throws to Levens. Incomplete. Egeson throws incomplete to Levens, Jackson on the coverage. 3rd and 1 from the 13. Levens with the handoff. Levens on the carry, no gain, Lambert with the tackle. 31-yard kick for Bias Uxie. Bias Uxie missed the 31-yard field goal. Dawson fades back to pass. Long fly. Incomplete. Dawson throws incomplete to Galloway, Bird on the coverage. Ohio by 7. Byers on the draw. Byers on the draw, gain of 9, Myers on the tackle. 3rd and 1 from the 30. The give to Smith. Lots of daylight. Smith the ball, penalty on the play.
Illegal motion. Offense. Number 87, 5-yard penalty.
Third and 6 at the 25. Dawson hands to Smith. 7-yard run by Smith. Bird on the tackle, first down. Dawson with the give to Smith. Smith gains 3 on the sweep, Burgee on the tackle. 2nd and 7. They're looking for Smith. Dawson with a short drop. Short slant to Galloway, complete. Dawson to Galloway, gain of 6, Bird on the tackle. 3rd and 1 from the 41. Ohio in no hurry. Dawson gives to Byers. 1-yard run by Byers, Bullock on the tackle, first down. 1st and 10 from the 42. Ohio in no hurry. Dawson gives to Byers. 2-yard gain by Byers, Burgee on the tackle. Slow down offense. Dawson drops back to pass. Dawson throws long to Kels. Incomplete. Dawson passes to Kels, incomplete, McCourty on the coverage. 3rd and 8 at the 44. Carter is doubled at the line. Galloway faces a double at the line. Dawson at the line. Give to Byers. He throws downfield, complete. Byers completes the pass to Kels, gain of 28, McCourty on the tackle, first down. 1st and 10 at the 28. Dawson taking his time. Dawson pitches left to Smith. 9-yard run by Smith, Burgee on the tackle. Ohio taking their time. Current drive, 10 plays, 60 yards. They've used 6:24 on the clock. Smith takes the handoff. 9-yard run by Smith, Burgee with the tackle, first down. Ohio leads by 7. Slow down. Dawson gives to Bell. Bell on the carry, 4, flag on the play.
Offsides. Defense. Number 93, 5-yard penalty.
Dawson at the line. Dawson hands to Bell. Bell on the carry, touchdown Ohio.
The ruling on the field stands.
Prater and will try the point after. Prater makes the extra point, Ohio 14, New York 0. The kick from Prater is down by McCourty. New York trailing by 14. Egeson barks out the signals. He fades back to pass. He checks down to Garcon. Complete. Egeson to Garcon, gain of 1, both on the tackle. New York trailing by 14. Egeson barks out the signals. Takes a quick drop. Short out pass to Moore. Incomplete. Egeson to Moore, incomplete, Brown on the coverage. 3rd and 9 from the 36. Egeson from the shotgun. Egeson fades back to pass. He throws underneath to Barkley, complete. Egeson completes the pass to Barkley, 33-yard gain, saves on the tackle, first down. Titans down 14. 1st and 10 at the 31. Egeson sets up in the pocket. Long outside pass to Rensel. He dropped it. Ishison throws incomplete to Rensel. Flag on the play.
Illegal motion. Offense. Number 88. 5-yard penalty.
First and 15 at the 36. Ishison drops back to pass. Screen to Barkley. Complete. Ishison with the pass to Barkley, gain of 11, Harrison with the tackle. Second and 4 from the 25. New York hustling to the line. Ishison calling signals. He fades back to pass. Ishison checks down to Barkley, complete. Ishison completes the pass to Barkley, gain of 24, LeBeau on the tackle, first down. First and goal at the 1. They're in a hurry up. Browner in the box. Moore is doubled at the line. Rensel faces a double at the line. Ishison sets up in the pocket. He throws downfield to Garcon. Incomplete. Ishison to Garcon, incomplete, Boak on the coverage, 2-minute warning. Second and goal from the 1. Ishison drops back to pass. Short out pass. He dropped it. Ishison passes to Mackey, incomplete, Browner on the coverage. Third and goal from the 1. Goal line defense. Ishison drops back to pass. Medium out. Ishison throws incomplete to Moore, flag on the field.
Offsides. Defense. Number 44.
Third and goal from the 1. Ohio stacked the line. Ishison fades back to pass. Short out. Ishison passes to Mackey, incomplete, Browner on the coverage. Fourth and goal from the 1. Goal line defense. Ishison calls out the signals. Drops back to pass. Ishison passes to Levens, incomplete. Ishison with the pass to Levens, incomplete, Jackson on the coverage. Dawson gives to Smith. Smith with a gain of 2 on the play, Bullock on the tackle. Ohio leads by 14. All eyes on Smith. Dawson hands to Smith. Smith on the carry, no gain, Costa on the tackle. Ohio by 14. Third and 8 from the 3. 1:24 left in the game. Smith with the handoff. Smith on the carry, gain of 4, Myers with the tackle. Zastudile to punt. In his own end zone. A 47-yard punt by Zastudile, return of 7 by Bird. First and 10 from the 47. Shotgun. Ishison drops back to pass. Sacked by Sames. Ishison is sacked by Sames, loss of 3. Third and 13. Ishison to throw. Long out pass to Garcon. Incomplete. Ishison throws incomplete to Garcon. Fourth and 13. Ishison fades back to pass. Long outside pass. Complete. Ishison with the pass to Moore, gain of 13, Brown with the tackle, first down. New York trailing by 14. First and 10 from the 37. 0:35 left in the game. Ishison fades back to pass. Screen to Barkley. Complete. Ishison to Barkley, gain of 4, LeBeau with the tackle. New York down by 14. Egeson fades back to pass. Screen to Barkley. He's got it. Egeson completes the pass to Barkley, 3-yard gain, Page with the tackle. 3rd and 3 from the 30. Egeson calls out the signals. Egeson drops back to pass. Short pass to Garcon, complete. Egeson completes the pass to Garcon, gain of 5, Vogt on the stop, 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 25. Egeson drops back to pass. Medium out. Complete. Egeson to Garcon, 11-yard gain, Vogt on the tackle, 1st down. 1st and 10. Egeson sets up in the pocket. Dropped by Cole. Egeson is sacked by Cole, loss of 6. Ohio 14, New York 0. Welcome to Orange Bowl. Michigan and Georgia. Stoyanovich boots it. The kick from Stoyanovich is returned 27 yards by Galt, Johnson with the tackle. 1st and 10 from the 34. Watson with a short drop. Pass in the flat to Brown, complete. Watson completes the pass to Brown, gain of 11, Van Pelt with the tackle, 1st down. Watson sets up in the pocket. Medium into Thomas. Complete. Watson completes the pass to Thomas, gain of 11, base on the tackle, 1st down. Watson calling signals. Give to Brown. Brown on the carry, gain of 1, Lipscomb on the tackle. Watson at the line. Some movement up front. Possible free play for Watson. Watson fades back to pass. Banks brings him down. Watson is sacked by Banks. Flag on the play.
Encroachment. Defense. Number 58. 5-yard penalty.
I formation. Watson drops back to pass. Medium cross to Childs. Incomplete. Watson passes to Childs, incomplete, Krause on the coverage. 3rd and 4 at the 38. Watson calling the signals. Brown on the draw. Brown on the draw, flag on the field.
No timeout will be charged.
4th and inches from the 34. The hand off to Brown. With room to run. 24-yard run by Brown. Banks with the tackle. 1st down. Watson hands to Brown. Brown with a 4-yard run. banks on the tackle. Georgia breaks the huddle. Watson gives to Lewis. Lewis on the carry, 4-yard gain, Graham on the tackle. 3rd and goal from the 2. Stacked line. Watson drops back to pass. Short hitch. Caught by Lewis in the end zone. Watson with the pass to Lewis, touchdown Georgia. Cassidy will try the point after. The kick by Cassidy is good, Georgia 7, Michigan 0. Cassidy to kick off. The kick from Cassidy is returned 39 yards by Lincoln, Lewis on the tackle. Morale fades back to pass. Medium crossing pattern to Muhammad, complete. Morale completes the pass to Muhammad, gain of 19, Bryant on the tackle, 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 39. Lincoln takes the handoff. Lincoln with the carry, no gain, Swilling on the tackle. 2nd and 10. Morale sets up in the pocket. Short in. Caught by Muhammad at the 28. Morale passes to Muhammad, 11-yard gain, Bryant on the tackle, 1st down. Brooks with the handoff. Has room to run. Brooks on the carry, 16-yard gain, Godfrey with the tackle, 1st down. Morale with 3-step drop. Short crossing pattern to Muhammad, he makes the grab. Morale completes the pass to Muhammad, touchdown Michigan. Stojanovic will try the point after. The kick by Stojanovic is good, Michigan 7, Georgia 7. Here's the kick from Stojanovic. The kick from Stojanovic is returned 38 yards by Gall, Okafor with the tackle. 1st and 10 at the 44. Lewis with the handoff. Lewis the ball carrier, 8-yard gain, Johnson on the tackle. Watson fades back to pass. Medium hitch to Johnson. Incomplete. Watson throws incomplete to Johnson, McDaniel with the coverage. 3rd and 2 from the 48. Watson hands to Lewis. 6-yard run by Lewis, Johnson on the tackle, 1st down. Watson gives to Brown. Brown on the carry, gain of 3, Van Pelt on the tackle. 2nd and 7 from the 39. Watson hands to Lewis. Lewis with a 1-yard run, Andre with the tackle. 3rd and 6 from the 38. Watson sets up in the pocket. Medium slant to Johnson, complete. Watson completes the pass to Johnson, gain of 11, McDaniel on the stop, 1st down. Watson to throw. He to Childs against Kraus, complete. Watson to Childs, 11-yard gain, Kraus on the tackle, 1st down. Lewis with the handoff. Lewis on the carry, gain of 5, Johnson on the tackle. The handoff to Brown. 6-yard gain by Brown, Lipscomb on the tackle, 1st down. 1st and goal. The handoff to Brown. Brown on the carry, touchdown Georgia. Cassidy will try the point after. The kick by Cassidy is good, Georgia 14, Michigan 7. Here's the kick from Cassie. The kick from Cassie is returned 30 yards by Lincoln, swilling on the tackle.
Receiving team, 10-yard penalty.
Michigan breaks the huddle. 1st and 10 from the 19. Brooks with the handoff. Brooks gains 2 on the sweep, Godfrey on the tackle. End of the first quarter, Georgia 14, Michigan 7. Morale fades back to pass. False. Morale gets to the second level. Morale the ball carrier, gain of 17, Godfrey on the tackle, 1st down. 1st and 10. Morale is back to pass. Morale dumps it to Brooks, complete. Morale completes the pass to Brooks, gain of 11, Bethia on the tackle, 1st down. Morale sets up in the pocket. Morale dumps it to Muhammad. Incomplete. Morale throws incomplete to Muhammad, Bryant on the coverage. Morale gives to Brooks. Brooks on the carry, gain of 5, Atkinson on the tackle. 3rd and 5. Morale hands to Brooks. Wide open field. 15-yard gain by Brooks, Houston on the tackle, 1st down. Morale sets up in the pocket. Medium cross to Muhammad. Complete. Morale to Muhammad, 18-yard gain, Bryant on the tackle, 1st down. Morale drops back to pass. Medium button hook to Smith. Morale passes to Smith, incomplete, Blount with the coverage. Michigan trailing by 7. Morale drops back to pass. Morale throws to Brooks. Incomplete. Morale to Brooks, incomplete, Godfrey with the coverage. 3rd and 10. Morale in the shotgun. Drops back to pass. He throws to Brooks. Incomplete. Morale passes to Brooks, incomplete. "31-yard try for Stoyanovich. Cook with the snap. Stoyanovich is good from 31 yards, Georgia 14, Michigan 10. Here's the kick from Stoyanovich. The kick from Stoyanovich is returned 19 yards by Camera, Johnson on the stop. Watson calls the signals. Bootleg. Watson on the carry, gain of 1, Van Pelt on the tackle. Watson with a short drop. Short cross to Hill. Complete. Watson to Hill, gain of 6, Logan with the tackle. 3rd and 3 from the 44. Watson calls out the signals. Takes a deep drop. Screen to Lewis. Complete. Watson completes the pass to Lewis, gain of 2, Johnson on the tackle. Guy deep in punt formation. Mason waiting inside his own 10. "50-yard punt by Guy, return of 8 by Mason. Morale drops back to pass. He checks down to Brooks. Incomplete. Morale passes to Brooks, incomplete. Morale fades back to pass. Short pass in the flat. Incomplete. Morale throws incomplete to Brooks, Godfrey with the coverage. 3rd and 10 from the 12. Shotgun formation. Morale drops back to pass. Screen. Incomplete. Morale to Brooks, incomplete. Fields back in punt formation. In his own end zone. "52-yard punt by Fields, 1-yard return by Hill." Watson calls out the signals. Brown takes the handoff. 3-yard run by Brown, Andre on the stop. The give to Brown. Fumble. Brown the ball carrier, gain of 4, fumble recovered by Brown, Georgia maintains possession. Watson calling signals. Watson gives to Brown. 5-yard run by Brown, Lipscomb on the tackle. Watson calls out the signals. Watson gives to Brown. Brown gains 3 on the sweep, Johnson on the tackle. 3rd and 2. Watson with a quick drop. Short crossing pass to Thomas, he makes the grab. Watson completes the pass to Thomas, gain of 10, face on the tackle, first down. Watson barks out the signals. The give to Lewis. Lewis with the carry, 8-yard gain, Krause on the tackle. 2nd and 2. Watson hands to Lewis. Room to run. Fumble. Lewis the ball carrier, gain of 11, fumble recovered by Lewis, Georgia maintains possession. Hand off to Brown. Brown on the carry, touchdown Georgia. Cassidy will try the point after. The kick by Cassidy is good, Georgia 21, Michigan 10. Here's the kick from Cassidy. The kick from Cassidy is returned 2 yards by Lincoln, Lewis on the tackle. Morale barks out the signals. Morale back to pass. Morale throws to Muhammad. Incomplete. Morale throws incomplete to Muhammad, Carter with the coverage. 2nd and 10 from the 7. Morale with a hard count. He sets to throw. Short outside pass. He's got it. Morale with the pass to Risson, gain of 12, Bryant on the tackle, first down. Morale with the hard count. Lincoln with the handoff. Lincoln with the 11-yard run, Bethia with the tackle, first down. 1st and 10. Morale with a hard count. Michigan hustling to the line. Morale pitches right to Brooks. Brooks on the carry, 2-yard gain, Blount on the tackle. Michigan in a hurry up. Morale gives to Lincoln. 1-yard gain by Lincoln, Swilling on the tackle, 2-minute warning. 3rd and 7 from the 33. Morale with a 7-step drop. Screen to Brooks. He makes the catch. Morale to Brooks, gain of 2, Godfrey with the tackle. Fields from punt formation. "46-yard punt by Fields, 3-yard return
Illegal
by Hill."
block. Receiving team, 10-yard penalty.
Watson fades back to pass. Drop by Johnson. Watson is sacked by Johnson, loss of 3. 2nd and 13 at the 7. Hand off to Lewis. Lewis the ball carrier, gain of 9, Nathaniel on the tackle. 3rd and 4. Watson at the line. Watson drops back to pass. He passes to Lewis. Complete. Watson completes the pass to Lewis, gain of 6, Van Pelt with the tackle, first down. Watson at the line. He fades back to pass. Short hitch to Lewis, complete. Watson completes the pass to Lewis, gain of 4, Johnson on the tackle. Watson calling the signals. Takes a 5-step drop. Medium out pass to Johnson, complete. Watson completes the pass to Johnson, 11-yard gain, McDaniel on the tackle, first down. Watson calls the signals. Watson deep in the pocket. Screen. Caught by Brown at the 33. Watson to Brown, gain of 10, McDaniel on the tackle. Draw to Brown. Brown on the draw, gain of 9, McDaniel on the tackle, first down. Shotgun formation. Watson fades back to pass. Short out pass. Incomplete. Watson throws incomplete to Brown, Van Pelt on the coverage. 3rd and 10 from the 44. 0:32 in the second. Watson fades back to pass. Medium out to Thomas. Incomplete. Watson throws incomplete to Thomas. Guy back in punt formation. Mason standing inside his own 10. "37-yard punt by Guy, out of bounds. Morale pitches right to Brooks. Brooks on the carry, 7-yard gain, Bethia on the tackle. End of the first half, Georgia 21, Michigan 10. Cassidy to kick off. The kick from Cassidy is returned 37 yards by Lincoln, Lewis on the tackle. Morale gives to Brooks. 3-yard run by Brooks, penalty on the play.
Holding. Offense. Number 67. 10-yard penalty.
Morale calls out the signals. Morale drops back to pass. Medium sideline pass to Smith. Incomplete. Morale to Smith, incomplete. Shotgun. Morale drops back to pass. Morale is off and running. Morale with a gain of 6 on the play, Carter on the tackle. 3rd and 14. Lincoln split outside. Morale sets up in the pocket. Medium out pass. Incomplete. Morale with the pass to Brooks, incomplete. Fields back in punt formation. "56-yard punt by Fields, 4-yard return by Atkinson. Someone jumped. The hand off to Lewis. Room to run. Lewis with the 17, penalty on the play.
Encroachment. Defense. Number 66. 5-yard penalty.
Watson gives to Brown. Brown lost 1 on the play, Lipscomb on the tackle. 2nd and 11 from the 30. Watson gives to Brown. Brown on the carry, 4-yard gain, Van Pelt on the tackle. 3rd and 7 from the 34. Watson with 3-step drop. Short hitch to Brown, complete. Watson to Brown, gain of 8, Krause on the tackle, 1st down. Brown with the handoff. Brown on the carry, gain of 5, Anderson on the tackle. 2nd and 5. Watson calls out the signals. Give to Lewis. Lewis with the lane. Lewis the ball carrier, gain of 12, Johnson on the stop, 1st down. Watson with a 7-step drop. Long cross to Thomas. Complete. Watson completes the pass to Thomas, 24-yard gain, base on the tackle, 1st down. Georgians by 11. They're looking for Lewis. Watson hands to Lewis. Lewis on the carry, no gain, Andre on the tackle. Watson barks out the signals. Hand off to Brown. Brown with a gain of 5 on the play, Andre on the tackle. 3rd and 5 from the 12. Watson drops back to pass. Short hitch to Thomas, complete. Watson to Thomas, 6-yard gain, base on the tackle, 1st down. Johnson faces a double at the line. 10-play 80-yard drive. 6:26 off the clock. Watson gives to Lewis. Lewis lost 1 on the play, Banks on the tackle. They're chewing up the clock. Watson drops back to pass. Throws to Childs' back shoulder. Watson to Childs, incomplete, Krause on the coverage. Georgia by 11. 3rd and goal from the 7. 6:27 in the 3rd. Current drive, 12 plays, 79 yards. They've used 7:10 on the clock. Wearing out the defense. Watson fades back to pass. False. Watson on the carry, touchdown Georgia. Cassidy will try the point after. Cassidy converts the extra point, Georgia 28, Michigan 10. The kick from Cassidy is downed by Lincoln. Brooks with the handoff. Brooks on the carry, no gain, Mathis on the tackle. 2nd and 10 from the 35. Morale calls out the signals. Takes a 5-step drop. Medium hitch. Smith with the catch at the 49. Fumble. Morale to Smith, gain of 17, fumble recovered by Smith, Michigan maintains possession. Morale gives to Lincoln. Lincoln with the carry, gain of 4, Bethia on the stop. Penalty on the play.
False start. Offense. Number 67. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Pitch right to Brooks. Room to run. Fumble. Brooks on the pitch, 13-yard gain, fumble recovered by Brooks, Michigan maintains possession. Morale with a short drop. Pass in the flat to Lincoln, complete. Morale to Lincoln, gain of 31, Bethia on the stop, 1st down. 1st and goal at the 5. Give to Lincoln. Lincoln on the carry, touchdown Michigan. Stojanovic will try the point after. Stojanovic makes the extra point, Georgia 28, Michigan 17. Here's the kick from Stojanovic.
Kicking team.
First and 10. Watson pitches right to Lewis. Wide open field. Lewis with a 12-yard run. Anderson on the stop. First down. All eyes on Brown. The hand off to Brown. Brown on the carry, gain of 1. Kraus with the tackle. From the up. Lewis takes the handoff. Lewis on the carry, gain of 5. Van Pelt with the tackle. Georgia by 11. 3rd and 4 from the 42. 0:45 in the third. Watson at the line. He fades back to pass. Medium cross to Hill. Complete. Watson to Hill, touchdown Georgia. Cassidy will try the point after. The kick by Cassidy is good, Georgia 35, Michigan 17. Cassidy to kick off. The kick from Cassidy is returned 40 yards by Lincoln, spikes on the stump. Michigan trailing by 18. Morale calling signals. The hand off to Brooks. Brooks lost one on the play, Godfrey on the tackle. End of the third quarter, Georgia 35, Michigan 17. Morale barks out the signals. Morale hands to Brooks. Brooks on the carry, gain of 3, Mathis on the tackle. Flag on the field.
False start. Offense. Number 82. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
Third and 13. Morale fades back to pass. Medium into Smith. Incomplete. Morale throws incomplete to Smith. Fields back in punt formation. Hill waiting inside his own 10. "46-yard punt by Fields, 3-yard return by Hill. Bulldogs by 18. Hand off to Lewis. 5-yard run by Lewis, Jenkins with the tackle. Georgia taking their time. Transfers control to Lewis. Lewis with a gain of 4 on the play, Banks on the stop. 3rd and 1. Clock killing pace. Watson calls the signals. Watson gives to Lewis. Lewis on the carry, gain of 5, McDaniel on the tackle, first down. Georgia up 18. Watson working very slowly. Bootleg. Watson on the carry, gain of 7, Van Pelt on the tackle. 2nd and 3 from the 31. Watson slow to the line. The hand off to Brown. Brown on the carry, loss of 1, Nixon with the tackle. 3rd and 4 from the 30. Slowly coming to the line. Watson with a short drop. Short button hook, complete. Watson completes the pass to Brown, gain of 6, Van Pelt on the tackle, first down. Georgia working slowly. Watson hands to Lewis. Fumble. Lewis with the carry, touchdown Michigan, fumble recovered by Anderson, return for a Michigan touchdown. The conversion failed, Georgia 35, Michigan 23. Stoyanovich to kick off. The kick from Stoyanovich is returned 42 yards by Gauld, Banks on the tackle. First and 10 at the 37. The hand off to Brown. 10-yard gain by Brown, Johnson on the tackle. Georgia by 12. Watson working very slowly. Bootleg. Watson with a gain of 7 on the play, Krause on the tackle, first down. Watson slow to the line. They're looking for Lewis. Lewis takes the handoff. 3-yard run by Lewis, Graham on the tackle. Watson slow to the line. Give to Brown. Brown gets to the second level. Brown with the carry, touchdown Georgia. Cassidy will try the point after. Cassidy converts the extra point, Georgia 42, Michigan 23. Here's the kick from Cassidy. The kick from Cassidy is returned 34 yards by Lincoln, Swilling on the tackle. First and 10 from the 37. Morale deep in the pocket. Screen to Muhammad. Complete. Morale with the pass to Muhammad, gain of 8, Carter on the tackle. Second and 2 at the 45. Michigan hustling to the line. Brooks takes the handoff. Brooks with a 4-yard run, Stroud on the tackle, first down. Michigan in a hurry up. Morale calling signals. Morale sets up in the pocket. Medium crossing pattern to Muhammad. Incomplete. Morale throws incomplete to Muhammad, Carter on the coverage. Morale in the shotgun. Morale drops back to pass. Medium cross to Risson. Incomplete. Morale throws incomplete to Risson, Bethia on the coverage. Third and 10 from the 49. Morale sets to throw. Screen to Brooks. Complete. Morale completes the pass to Brooks, gain of 12, Harris on the tackle, first down. Michigan hustling to the line. Morale barks out the signals. Morale takes a deep drop. Long hitch to Muhammad. Incomplete. Morale to Muhammad, incomplete. Penalty on the play.
Holding. Offense. Number 67. 10-yard penalty.
Morale fades back to pass. Screen to Brooks. Incomplete. Morale throws incomplete to Brooks. Second and 20 at the 49. Morale back to pass. Medium hitch to Risson. He makes the catch. Morale to Risson, gain of 15, Bethia on the tackle. Third and 5 at the 34. Michigan in a hurry up. Morale drops back to pass. Short hitch to Mathis, complete. Morale to Mathis, 15-yard gain, Bethia with the tackle, first down. Michigan in a hurry up. Morale back to pass. Short hitch to Muhammad. Incomplete. Morale to Muhammad, incomplete. Michigan trailing by 19. Second and 10 from the 19. Morale drops back to pass. Short hitch to Muhammad, complete. Morale completes the pass to Muhammad, gain of 10, Carter on the tackle, first down. Michigan in a hurry up. Morale calls the signals. He fades back to pass. Short sideline pass to Risson. Incomplete. Morale throws incomplete to Risson. Morale calls out the signals. Current drive, 11 plays, 54 yards. 2:51 off the clock. Morale fades back to pass. Morale throws to Brooks, complete. Morale to Brooks, touchdown Michigan. Stojanovic will try the point after. Stojanovic makes the extra point, Georgia 42, Michigan 30. Stojanovic with the kick. The kick from Stojanovic is returned 37 yards by Galt, Banks on the tackle. First and 10 from the 45. Watson calls out the signals. Watson running. 4-yard run by Watson, Banks on the tackle. Georgia up 12. They're in a slow down. Watson hands to Brown. Has an opening. Brown on the carry, gain of 37, McDaniel on the tackle, first down. 2-minute warning. Watson drops back to pass. Watson throws to Lewis, complete. Watson completes the pass to Lewis, touchdown Georgia. Cassidy will try the point after. Cassidy converts the extra point, Georgia 49, Michigan 30. Here's the kick from Cassidy. Squib kick. The kick from Cassidy is returned 29 yards by Johnson, Lewis on the tackle. Shotgun formation. Morale at the line. Drops back to pass. Long outside pass. Incomplete. Morale to Mathis, incomplete. Bryant on the coverage.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 20. Automatic. First down.
Morale fades back to pass. Short sideline pass to Brooks. Incomplete. Morale to Brooks, incomplete. Morale to throw. Medium slant. Caught by Mathis inside the 10. Morale passes to Mathis. Flag on the field.
Tripping. Offense. Number 67. 15-yard penalty.
Morale sets up in the pocket. Long out. Caught by Smith. Morale to Smith. Touchdown Michigan. Stojanovic will try the point after. The kick by Stojanovic is good, Georgia 49, Michigan 37. They're looking for an onside kick. Stojanovic to kick off. Onside kick recovered by Georgia. Watson gives to Lewis. Lewis with a 1-yard run, Graham on the tackle. Georgia by 12. The hand off to Lewis. Lewis on the carry, no gain, Banks on the tackle. Watson takes a knee. Guy back in punt formation. Mason waiting inside his own 10. "44-yard punt by Guy, touchback." Morale from the shotgun. Sets to throw. Screen to Mathis. Complete. Morale completes the pass to Mathis, gain of 12, Carter with the tackle, first down. 1st and 10 at the 32. Michigan hustling to the line. Morale at the line. Drops back to pass. Long out. Incomplete. Morale throws incomplete to Muhammad, Carter on the coverage. Morale takes a deep drop. Dropped by Dent. Morale is sacked by Dent, loss of 9. 3rd and 19 from the 23. They're in a hurry up. Morale fades back to pass. He airs it out. Incomplete. Morale with the pass to Mathis, incomplete. Michigan trailing by 12. 4th and 19. 0:01 left in the 4th. Morale fades back to pass. He throws a deep post. Incomplete. Morale throws incomplete to Smith. Blount with the coverage, Georgia 49, Michigan 37. The kick from Elliott is downed by Renfro. Mahomes gives to Tomlinson. Tomlinson on the carry, gain of 9, Lynch on the stop. Tomlinson with the handoff. Tomlinson with a 4-yard run, Wagner on the tackle, first down. End around to Brown. Brown on the carry, gain of 2, Ninkovich on the stop. Mahomes at the line. Fades back to pass. Medium outside pass. Incomplete. Mahomes to Brown, incomplete, Wagner on the coverage. 3rd and 8. Mahomes at the line. Mahomes hands to Tomlinson. Tomlinson the ball carrier, gain of 4, Ninkovich on the stop. Leckler from punt formation. Randall L. waiting inside his own 10. "46-yard punt by Leckler, touchback." Anderson hands to Ingram. 5-yard gain by Ingram, Allen with the tackle. 2nd and 5 from the 25. Anderson gives to Allstott. Allstott on the carry, loss of 4, Singletary on the tackle. 3rd and 9 at the 21. Shotgun. Anderson fades back to pass. He dumps it to Ingram. Incomplete. Anderson to Ingram, incomplete. Hentrick to punt. A 44-yard punt by Hentrick, return of 8 by Brown. Mahomes hands to Tomlinson. Tomlinson with a 3-yard run, Norton on the stop. 2nd and 7 from the 46. Mahomes fades back to pass. Short slant to Allworth. Incomplete. Mahomes throws incomplete to Allworth, Tillman with the coverage. 3rd and 7. Mahomes at the line. Takes a short drop. Short out to Brown. Complete. Mahomes completes the pass to Brown, gain of 8, Buchanan on the tackle, 1st down. Mahomes fades back to pass. Medium slant to Brown, complete. Mahomes completes the pass to Brown, gain of 12, Wagner on the stop, 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 34. Mahomes calling the signals. Hand off to Tomlinson. Tomlinson on the sweep, gain of 8, Norton on the tackle. 2nd and 2 at the 26. Takes a 5-step drop. Medium cross. Mahomes is intercepted by Tillman, returned for a touchdown, touchdown Illinois. Elliott J. will try the point after. The kick by Elliott is good, Illinois 7, Texas 0. The kick from Elliott is downed by Renfro. Mahomes sets to throw. Short hitch to Pruitt, complete. Mahomes to Pruitt, 4-yard gain, Nitschke on the tackle. 2nd and 6 from the 39. Mahomes fades back to pass. Screen to Tomlinson. Complete. Mahomes to Tomlinson, gain of 13, Lynch on the stop, 1st down. Mahomes gives to Pruitt. Pruitt on the sweep, gain of 8, Ninkovich with the tackle. Mahomes barks out the signals. Takes a 3-step drop. Short into Brown. Complete. Mahomes to Brown, gain of 10, Wagner on the tackle, 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 30. Mahomes fades back to pass. Medium out pass to Odoms. Incomplete. Mahomes throws incomplete to Odoms, Atwater on the coverage. Mahomes hands to Pruitt. Pruitt gains 4 on the sweep, Norton on the tackle. 3rd and 6. Mahomes fades back to pass. Throws to Taylor's back shoulder. Complete. Mahomes to Taylor, gain of 7, Tillman on the stop, 1st down. Pruitt with the handoff. Pruitt on the carry, no gain, Rice on the tackle. 2nd and 10 from the 19. Mahomes drops back to pass. Drop by Atwater. Mahomes is sacked by Atwater, loss of 7. 3rd and 17 from the 26. Tomlinson split out wide. Shotgun formation. Mahomes fades back to pass. Sacked by Rice. Mahomes is sacked by Rice, loss of 5. 49-yard try for Tucker. Leckler to hold. Bush with the snap. Tucker missed from 49 yards. Anderson at the line. The handoff to Ingram. Ingram the ball carrier, gain of 3, Thomas on the stop. End of the first quarter, Illinois 7, Texas 0. 2nd and 7 from the 42. Anderson with a short drop. Short cross. Incomplete. Anderson to Sharp, incomplete, flag on the play.
Illegal motion. Offense. Number 84, 5-yard penalty.
Anderson takes a deep drop. He throws to Allstott, complete. Anderson completes the pass to Allstott, 3-yard gain, Singletary on the stop. Illinois leads by 7. 3rd and 9. Anderson in the shotgun. Anderson drops back to pass. Medium hitch to Ingram. Incomplete. Anderson with the pass to Ingram, incomplete. Hentrick to punt. A 49-yard punt by Hentrick, 4-yard return by Haynes. Give to Tomlinson. 3-yard run by Tomlinson, Butkus on the tackle. Mahomes at the line. Drops back to pass. Medium fly. Incomplete. Mahomes throws incomplete to Allworth, Tillman on the coverage. 3rd and 7. Mahomes calls out the signals. He fades back to pass. Medium cross. Tip by Nitschke at the 32. Mahomes is intercepted by Nitschke, return of 19. Anderson is back to pass. Sacked by Strahan. Anderson is sacked by Strahan, loss of 8. Shotgun. Anderson fades back to pass. He throws underneath to Sharp, complete. Anderson passes to Sharp, gain of 9, Renfro with the tackle. 3rd and 9. Anderson fades back to pass. He passes to Ingram, complete. Anderson with the pass to Ingram, gain of 5, Armstead on the tackle. 25-yard attempt for Elliott. Hentrick to hold. Elliott missed from 25 yards. First and 10 from the 20. The give to Tomlinson. Tomlinson on the carry, gain of 9. Butkus on the stop. Mahomes gives to Pruitt. Pruitt on the carry, gain of 5, Butkus on the tackle, first down. 1st and 10. The handoff to Tomlinson. Tomlinson on the carry, gain of 2, Keating on the tackle. Longhorns trailing by 7. 2nd and 8 at the 36. Mahomes fades back to pass. He checks down to Tomlinson. Incomplete. Mahomes to Tomlinson, incomplete, Lynch on the coverage. Texas breaks the huddle. 3rd and 8. Mahomes fades back to pass. He checks down to Taylor. Complete. Mahomes completes the pass to Taylor, gain of 6, Tillman on the tackle. Leckler back in punt formation. A 43-yard punt by Leckler, out of bounds. Hand off to Allstott. Allstott has room to run. Allstott with the carry, gain of 14, Miller with the tackle, first down. Illinois ahead by 7. First and 10. Ingram takes the handoff. Ingram with a gain of 7 on the play, Thomas on the tackle. I formation. Give to Ingram. Ingram with a 9-yard run, Armstead on the tackle, first down. Anderson calling signals. Anderson drops back to pass. Anderson dumps it to Sharp, complete. Anderson passes to Sharp, gain of 13, Thomas on the stop, first down. Anderson at the line. Allstott with the handoff. 4-yard gain by Allstott, Houston on the tackle. Anderson hands tackle, first down. Hand off to Allstott. Allstott with a gain of 1 on the play, Lilly on the tackle. Illinois breaks the huddle. Illinois by 7. Anderson with a short drop. Short button hook to Walter. Incomplete. Anderson passes to Walter, incomplete, Haynes on the coverage. Illinois ahead by 7. 3rd and 9 from the 27. Shotgun formation. Anderson sets to throw. Medium slant to Sharp. Complete. Anderson to Sharp, gain of 10, Green on the tackle, first down. Illinois by 7. Current drive, 9 plays, 68 yards. 5:33 off the clock. Slips it to Allstott. 1-yard run by Allstott, Singletary on the stop. 2nd and 9 from the 16. 10-play 69-yard drive. They've used 6:02 on the clock. Anderson sets up in the pocket. False. Anderson with the 9-yard run, Haynes with the tackle, first down. 2-minute warning. First and goal from the 7. Walter is doubled at the line. Doubling Sharp at the line. Anderson calls out the signals. Anderson gives to Allstott. Allstott on the carry, gain of 5, Haynes on the tackle. 2nd and goal from the 2. Anderson at the line. Pitch right to Ingram. Ingram on the carry, touchdown Illinois. Elliott J. will try the point after. The kick by Elliott is good, Illinois 14, Texas 0. The kick from Elliott is down by Renfro. Mahomes fades back to pass. Mahomes will run. Mahomes with the lane. Mahomes on the carry, gain of 14, Wagner on the tackle, first down. Mahomes with a hard count. He sets to throw. Short out pass to Tomlinson. Incomplete. Mahomes throws incomplete to Tomlinson, Atwater on the coverage. Texas trailing by 14. Mahomes with the hard count. Mahomes in the shotgun. He fades back to pass. Medium out to Brown. Incomplete. Mahomes passes to Brown. Penalty on the play.
Holding. Offense. Number 75. 10-yard penalty.
Mahomes with a hard count. Pruitt lines up outside. Mahomes fades back to pass. Long hitch. Incomplete. Mahomes to Allworth. Incomplete. Third and 20 at the 39. Tomlinson split outside. Mahomes calls out the signals. Mahomes sets to throw. Long sideline pass. Complete. Mahomes with the pass to Allworth. Touchdown Texas. Tucker J will try the point after. Tucker converts the extra point. Illinois 14, Texas 7. Tucker to kick off. The kick from Tucker is returned 29 yards by Smith. Miller on the tackle. Illinois by 7. First and 10. 0:47 in the second. Anderson calling signals. Anderson pitches left to Allstott. Allstott with daylight. Allstott on the pitch, gain of 22, Thomas on the tackle, first down. Anderson shovels it to Ingram. Ingram on the carry, loss of 1, Miller on the stop. Illinois leads by 7. From the shotgun. Anderson fades back to pass. Screen to Gibbons. Complete. Anderson completes the pass to Gibbons, gain of 3, Johnson on the tackle. Illinois breaks the huddle. 3rd and 8 from the 42. Anderson back to pass. Screen to Ingram. He dropped it. Anderson with the pass to Ingram, incomplete. Hentrick to punt. Brown waiting inside his own 10. "42-yard punt by Hentrick, touchback. Mahomes running. End of the first half, Illinois 14, Texas 7. Here's the kick from Tucker. The kick from Tucker is returned 27 yards by Smith, Thomas on the tackle. First and 10 from the 33. Anderson back to pass. Long slant. Complete. Anderson completes the pass to Walter, gain of 24, Houston on the tackle, first down. Anderson deep in the pocket. Long fly to Sharp. Complete. Anderson completes the pass to Sharp, gain of 23, Houston on the tackle, first down. Ingram with the handoff. Ingram with room. Ingram on the sweep, 16-yard gain, Armstead on the stop, first down. First and goal from the 4. Anderson calls the signals. Anderson hands to Allstott. Allstott with a gain of 1 on the play, Miller with the tackle. Illinois ahead by 7. Second and goal. Anderson with the give to Allstott. Allstott on the carry, touchdown Illinois. Elliott J will try the point after. The kick by Elliott is good, Illinois 21, Texas 7. Here's the kick from Elliott. The kick from Elliott is returned 34 yards by Renfro, Fensick on the tackle. Mahomes is back to pass. Short crossing pattern to Brown. Incomplete. Mahomes throws incomplete to Brown, Wagner on the coverage. Pitch left to Pruitt. Pruitt gains 9 on the pitch, Butkus on the stop. 3rd and 1 from the 43. Mahomes calling signals. Tomlinson with the handoff. 6-yard gain by Tomlinson, Butkus on the tackle, first down. Tomlinson with the handoff. Tomlinson with the 7-yard run, Atwater with the tackle. Mahomes hands to Pruitt. Pruitt the ball carrier, gain of 4, Norton on the tackle, first down. Mahomes at the line. Hand off to Pruitt. Pruitt on the carry, gain of 3, Butkus on the tackle. Mahomes sets up in the pocket. Mahomes passes to Brown. Incomplete. Mahomes throws incomplete to Brown. Third and 7 from the 37. Mahomes fades back to pass. Falls. Has an opening. Mahomes on the carry, gain of 22, Buchanan on the tackle, first down. Mahomes drops back to pass. Medium hitch to Odoms, complete. Mahomes passes to Odoms, gain of 11, Atwater on the tackle, first down. The handoff to Tomlinson. Tomlinson on the carry, touchdown Texas. Tucker J will try the point after. Tucker converts the extra point, Illinois 21, Texas 14. Tucker with the kick. The kick from Tucker is returned 43 yards by Smith, Miller on the stop. From the Anderson calling signals. Give to Ingram. Room to run. Fumble. Ingram on the carry, gain of 19, fumble recovered by Ingram, Illinois maintains possession. 1st and 10 from the 36. Sharp is doubled at the line. Anderson pitches right to Ingram. Ingram on the carry, no gain, Singletary on the tackle. 2nd and 10. Anderson with a short drop. Short slant to Sharp. Incomplete. Anderson throws incomplete to Sharp, Renfro on the coverage. 3rd and 10. Anderson from the shotgun. He fades back to pass. Short into Walter, complete. Anderson passes to Walter, 7-yard gain, Haynes on the tackle. 47-yard attempt for Elliott. Hentrick to hold. Elliott connects from 47 yards, Illinois 24, Texas 14. The kick from Elliott. The kick from Elliott is returned 49 yards by Renfro, Reasons with the tackle.
Receiving team, 10-yard penalty.
Mahomes fades back to pass. Mahomes is off and running. Mahomes with a 5-yard run, Rice on the tackle. Tomlinson with the handoff. Tomlinson lost one on the play, Butkus with the tackle. 3rd and 6 from the 42. Tomlinson on the draw. Tomlinson on the carry, no gain, Butkus with the tackle. Leckler back in punt formation. "52-yard punt by Leckler, return of 7 by Smith. Ingram with the handoff. Ingram with a gain of 4 on the play, Houston on the tackle. 2nd and 6 from the 17. Anderson gives to Ingram. Ingram on the carry, 4-yard gain, Allen on the tackle. 3rd and 2 from the 21. Anderson glides back. Screen to Alstott. He makes the catch. Anderson completes the pass to Alstott, gain of 10, Singletary on the tackle, 1st down. End of the 3rd quarter, Illinois 24, Texas 14. The handoff to Ingram. Ingram with a gain of 4 on the play, Renfro on the tackle. Anderson hands to Alstott. Alstott on the carry, no gain, Allen on the stop. Illinois ahead by 10. 3rd and 6 at the 35. Anderson sets to throw. Short crossing pass. Incomplete. Anderson passes to Sharp, incomplete, Renfro on the coverage. Hentrick will punt. "49-yard punt by Hentrick, return of 1 by Haynes. Mahomes drops back to pass. Short slant to Brown, complete. Mahomes completes the pass to Brown, gain of 5, Buchanan with the tackle. 2nd and 5 from the 22. Mahomes hands to Tomlinson. Tomlinson the ball carrier, 2-yard gain, Wagner with the tackle. 3rd and 3 at the 24. Mahomes with a hard count. Drops back to pass. Sacked by Rice. Mahomes is sacked by Rice, loss of 5. Leckler back in punt formation. Fumble. "53-yard punt by Leckler, return of 0 by Smith, fumble recovered by Keating, Illinois ball. 1st and 10 at the 28. The handoff to Alstott. Alstott with the lane. Alstott on the carry, 12-yard gain, Miller on the tackle, 1st down. Anderson hands to Alstott. Alstott with a gain of 3 on the play, Thomas on the tackle. Anderson with 3-step drop. Short slant to Sharp, complete. Anderson completes the pass to Sharp, gain of 6, Green on the tackle. Illinois by 10. 3rd and 1. Anderson slow to the line. Anderson gives to Ingram. Ingram gains 1 on the sweep, Thomas on the tackle.
Ruling on the field, stands. A timeout will be charged.
Illinois by 10. Illinois working slowly. Anderson at the line. Anderson pitches right to Alstott. 1-yard run by Alstott, Armstead with the tackle. Anderson working very slowly. Turner with the handoff. Turner with the carry, gain of 2, Miller on the stop. 3rd and 7. Anderson taking his time. Turner with the handoff. Turner gains 5 on the sweep, Strahan on the tackle. Hentrick to punt. Brown waiting inside his own 10. "42-yard punt by Hentrick, touchback." Mahomes hands to Tomlinson. Tomlinson on the carry, penalty on the play.
Piling on. Defense. Number 47. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Mahomes fades back to pass. Screen to Taylor. Complete. Mahomes completes the pass to Taylor. No gain. Tillman with the tackle. Texas hustling to the line. Mahomes sets up in the pocket. Screen to Tomlinson. Complete. Mahomes completes the pass to Tomlinson. Gain of 1. Atwater with the tackle. 3rd and 9 from the 40. Texas in a hurry up. Shotgun formation. Mahomes drops back to pass. Screen to Tomlinson. Incomplete. Mahomes throws incomplete to Tomlinson. Lynch on the coverage.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. 4th down.
Leckler will punt it away. "61-yard punt by Leckler, no return." First and 10 at the 4. The give to Turner. Turner the ball carrier, gain of 2, Armstead on the tackle. Illinois leads by 10. 2nd and 8. Illinois taking their time. The hand off to Ingram. 1-yard gain by Ingram, Strahan on the stop. Illinois by 10. 3rd and 7. 3:20 left in the game. Slow down. Hand off to Ingram. 4-yard gain by Ingram, Houston on the tackle. Hentrick to punt. From his own end zone. "51-yard punt by Hentrick, return of 3 by Brown." Shotgun formation. Mahomes fades back to pass. Medium out pass to Taylor. Incomplete. Mahomes with the pass to Taylor, incomplete. Harrison with the coverage. 2nd and 10 from the 41. Mahomes calling signals. He fades back to pass. Screen to Tomlinson. Complete. Mahomes completes the pass to Tomlinson, gain of 7, Atwater on the tackle. 3rd and 3 at the 48. Hard count from Mahomes. He fades back to pass. Short sideline pass. Incomplete. Mahomes with the pass to Brown, incomplete. Buchanan on the coverage. 4th and 3 from the 48. Mahomes trying to draw them offside. Fades back to pass. Medium in. Caught by Allworth for a first down. Mahomes to Allworth, gain of 8, Wagner on the tackle, first down. 1st and 10 at the 44. Mahomes drops back to pass. Dropped by Butkus. Mahomes is sacked by Butkus, loss of 6. Texas breaks the huddle. 2nd and 16 from the 50. Mahomes at the line. Back to pass. Short sideline pass to Allworth, complete. Mahomes completes the pass to Allworth, gain of 2, Wagner on the tackle, 2-minute warning. 3rd and 14 at the 48. Mahomes sets up in the pocket. Medium out pass to Brown. Incomplete. Mahomes throws incomplete to Brown. Buchanan with the coverage. Texans trailing by 10. 4th and 14 at the 48. 1:54 left in the game. Mahomes fades back to pass. Long out. Incomplete. Mahomes passes to Brown. Incomplete. Anderson gives to Ingram. 1 yard gain by Ingram. Armstead with the tackle. Illinois by 10. They're in a slowdown. Allstott with the handoff. Allstott on the carry, no gain. Lilly on the tackle. Anderson will go to a knee. Illinois 24, Texas 14.